Today, I'm going to tell you about TrainingLab. It's an e-learning platform that teaches communication skills under high-pressure scenarios for hospital staff. And not there yet, but right now the problem that I'm trying to solve is that hospital staff, especially physicians and nurses, are experiencing more and more violence against them while they're working, especially in the emergency department and night shifts in the emergency department. So the problem that we're solving is, like I was saying before, with violence escalating because communication skills are typically not taught, and if they are, people in the emergency room, and especially hospital workers in general, they're under pressure all the time, and patients are getting short on their patients, and also their family members. So everybody gets involved, and it turns into this crazy place, and hospital staff have a very specific way they have to deal with these kinds of situations. And this affects their star ratings, their CMA star ratings, and also sometimes there's lawsuits and replacing healthcare workers, which right now there's a shortage of. It costs over $1 million to replace a physician, over $500,000 to replace a nurse, and about $50,000 to replace other staff. And so, let's try this. Cool. And so right now, what happens is they're given training, and they complete it. They check a box, and people are at the whim of how they're acting in a crisis, especially when they're under pressure. So what they need is to be able to repeatedly practice under pressure in a safe environment, and then that also affects their patient survey scores. So just as a little bit of a background, anytime a patient goes to a hospital and they leave, they're given a patient survey score. And so those survey scores are what determines the star ratings. And the star ratings are what the hospitals are reimbursed from CMS. And so it's kind of a loop. And so I am going to, so what's tracked is finishing their training, and what really needs to happen is like repeated difficult conversations over and over again so that they build the muscle to react in a good state, in a ready state. And the reason this is important right now is because there's staff shortages in hospitals. People are leaving the healthcare field, especially in hospitals. I already talked about the violence rising, and I talked about the patient satisfaction scores, and most importantly, every day, 12,000 people turn over 65, so there's this influx of much older people coming into the system at a really fast rate, so there's this added pressure of that. And the reason this is important is because everybody gets trained the same way, everybody gets trained exactly to what they need, because the AI is adjusting their training after each session, and then you have to repeat your training so that it becomes habit. And then there's a way where hospital staff have to maintain authority even when things are getting out of control. It's a very specific way to do it. Okay. And the way our product works is that, the way our product works is that you train on a particular skill, let's say de-escalation, and then you learn how to do it, how other people do it, and then you role play that skill, and then you get feedback on how well you did. And so that's on the individual level. But on a bigger level, the organization learns how to adaptively train everyone so that they're at a certain level. So these are milestones. So you have to acknowledge their concern. In this case, you're talking to this gentleman who's really upset about something, and then you have to ask questions and collaborate, and it's completely dynamic, it's completely unscripted. And so the next time you learn, he gets more agitated, And so you have to like step up your knowledge. And yeah, so that's what that is. And right now, metrics are already taken. And so this just adds to the metrics that are already taken. And the HCAPS is the metric that I was talking about, is the patient survey scores whenever they leave the hospital. How was your visit? You know, how do you feel like you were taken care of? And all those kinds of questions. And then there's a very specific way to, for risk. And you can't respond in a certain way. So you have to like really adhere to the risk policies that are for that hospital. And our product goes for $115K, $250K, and $500K for unlimited use within a department. And we have pilots, 3-month paid pilots for each one. And the reason we priced it this way is because when we talk to hospital leaders, they don't care about credits. They don't want to go back and ask for more money because they spend too much. So their budget is for so much money, so that they just ask for that, and that's it. They don't want to be bothered with all this crazy AI pricing that's going on. Okay, and so what we're doing right now is founder-led direct sales. So I'm reaching out to hospital leaders, connected with over 500 of them so far in LinkedIn, and reaching out to them directly. And we're also doing marketing programs to reach out to them. And we have a reseller program where people that already sell to hospitals can upsell our product at a 30% margin, where they can keep that. And then referral incentives for other departments and other hospitals getting referred. And right now we are in talks with St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're a member of the UN Global Supplier. We're a vendor for that. So in the Airport Training Division, we were working on something, but all the money's on hold right now. And we have our next meeting with Veterans Affairs for some other products that we're working on. And it's me. I'm a human factors engineer by trade. And what that means is I test medical devices and write documentation to show that it's safe and effective. And these documentation gets submitted to the FDA and the EU. And so I've done over 50 of those, talked to hundreds of healthcare workers, including doctors and physicians, doctors and nurses, and biomedical engineers, and all these other people that would be using those medical products. And Nick is our Chief Technology Officer, and he's worked on VR applications for healthcare. He's also launched over 10 enterprise applications. And Mark is our Chief Growth Officer, and he does all things sales and marketing. And he has tremendous experience in bringing products to market. And Dr. Mahaffey, he's our sales and he does our vice president of growth and strategy, and he does sales. He's got a lot of connections within the healthcare system in the U.S. And yeah, we're a pretty amazing team. I should say so myself. And what we're looking for is so it's the 4 of us, and then we have a learning and development expert, and we also have another engineer. But what we don't have are just, I don't want to say administrative, but like we need help with day-to-day work, and then data science as well. We also are looking for connections to hospital leaders so that we can make sure that we're building the product the way they want and what they need. And we're also looking for hardware and AI credits because the pricing is through the roof. And so we also need a compliance specialist because we need to be compliant with all those regulations. And so that's what we're looking for. We're also fundraising for $2 million on a safe note with a 20% discount to get to 1 million ARR. And like I said, I'm a product designer. I'm a human factors engineer, so if I can help with anybody else's products, I'm happy to help that too. So I think that's it. Yes, so I just wanted to end with high pressure needs high pressure training. So any questions? Oh, sorry.
Thanks. I was curious, you said the training product, is it mostly AI-based or is it?
It's generative AI.
Okay. And you also mentioned you have needs in the data science side.
Yes.
I was wondering what your problems are that you need help with.
Well, we're going to be taking all the policy documents from the hospitals and putting them inside a knowledge base. And so we'll need to make sure that our generative AI is built in such a way that it limits all the information in the knowledge base and also adheres to all these other other regulatory policies as well. And so that's just a little bit of it, but yeah.
Just curious, taking all those policy documents, are there privacy concerns too? Like about those documents? I mean, should they be secured?
Oh yeah, everything in a hospital has to be secure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, and we offer it on premises if that's what they want, or secure cloud. So yeah, everything. Yeah, it has to meet all those data, cybersecurity, all these other restrictions. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
Of course.
Yeah, I was just wondering what sort of data is the AI trained on? Like when it comes up with the scenario, whatever that might be, where, because it's generative, where is it like sourcing those sorts of scenarios?
So we have a role in the hospital. They're called a training sponsor and a role learning and experience manager on our side, and they work together to decide which training needs to be approved for each manager, and so it kind of stays within those realms.
Cool. And then, like, if you were doing the training, I guess like how many scenarios could the AI come up with that you'd go through? Is it pretty much like limitless, or is there sort of a range of things you might encounter in the hospital training?
We are doing research because it depends, right? So it depends on, I hate that answer, but it depends on what area of the hospital and what exactly the common conversations are that affects patient experience. So it's limited, but it's basically we can customize it, so it's limitless. but we sell them in a package that we sell, the unlimited use. You can get up to 125 different learning sessions.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions online? No questions? Any other questions here in the room? Okay. Cool. Thank you very much for presenting today.